Today's lesson is going to be about rounding decimals. We're going to learn exactly what that word means in a moment if you haven't heard of it before. But before we get started, I just have a quick getting better at maths question here for you guys. There's a list of 4 temperatures and we want to choose which one is arranged in the order from highest to lowest. I'd love for you to just pause the video for a second and have a think about what the answer is to this question. Okay, I think the answer to the question is this one here, because we start from the lowest, -5, -3, 0, and then 4. That is in order from lowest to highest. Now, our first example, changing fractions to decimals. This is a little bit of revision. So one of the easiest ways we can change fractions to decimals is we can just put into our calculator. If we put that into our calculator, it should give us the answer. And again with this one, if we put this into our calculator, we should get the answer. Now the last one, we can change it to an improper fraction first. 100 times 3 is 300, plus 17 is 317 over 100. And then if we put this into our calculator, we should get the answer. Right, and here's a little bit more revision on fractions. Multiplying is fairly simple. We multiply the top with the top, and we multiply the bottom with the bottom. So we end up with, an equal sign, we end up with 2 times 3 over 5 times 4, which becomes 6 over 20. Now we can simplify this fraction because we can divide the top, not by 3. We can divide the top by 2 and we can also divide the bottom by 2. And we will get 3 over 10, and that is the simplest version of the fraction. Now when it comes to dividing fractions, remember our KFC. We keep the first fraction the same, we flip the second fraction over, and then we change the divide to a times. And now what we end up with is the same question we had here, it's just reversed. If we times top with top and bottom with bottom, and we already know how to finish off this question because we just did it up there. We've done the same thing and divided top and bottom by 2. Alright, moving on now to rounding off. Now, what rounding off means, if you haven't heard it before, is here in this question, we have a decimal that has quite a lot of digits that come after the decimal point. And what rounding off means is to choose how many decimal places we want in the number. In this case, we want 2. So we're going to cut the number here, and we're going to write the number so it only now has 2 decimal places. Okay, so we've drawn a line where the number must be cut and circle the critical digit. Now, if our line is here, our critical digit is this one on the right hand side of the line. Because what happens is if the critical digit is less than 5, then our number on the other side of the line, does not change. But if the critical digit is more than 5, or equal 5, then the number on the left of our line goes up by 1. So what that means is that because our critical digit here is 9, which is equal 5 or more than 5, that means this 3 is going to become a 4 when we round off. Okay, let's practice that a bit more and hopefully it will make more sense. So we're rounding off to 2 decimal places, so we are going to cut off here. Our critical digit is this 1, which is less than 5, so that means this number now doesn't change. So when we write this with 2 decimal places, none of our numbers change. What I'll get you guys to do is pause the video here and practice doing these two yourself. I'll show you how to answer them in a moment. Okay, the first question. 25.682. We draw a line. A critical digit is 8. 8 is 5 or more, so that means this number goes up by 1. And our answer becomes 25.7. Now 13.5458, rounding off to 1 decimal place, so we put in our line, we identify our critical digit. Our critical digit is less than 5, so our number on the left hand side of our line is not going to change. It stays as a 5, and our answer becomes 13.5. One more set of examples. If you're still a bit unsure, pause the video here and attempt these questions. Okay, I'll show you how to answer them now. So we're rounding this number to 3 decimal places. So we draw our line and look at our critical digit. It's less than 5, so our number will be unchanged. We're going for 2 decimal places in this one. A critical digit is 5 or more, so this number is going to change to a 4. $7.5997. This is going to be rounded to 3 decimal places. We're looking at our critical digit. 6 is more than 5, so that means this number needs to be increased by 1. But now, what happens here? We can't just write a 10. What has to happen is this number here after the decimal point 599 needs to be increased by 1. So what is 599 plus 1? Well, it's 600. So that means instead of writing 599, we're now writing 600. This whole number here has increased by 1 because our critical digit is bigger than 5. Okay guys, your work to do for this lesson is going to be an EP lesson on iLearn. There's no textbook work for you to choose this time. So just down below where you found this video, you'll find a link to this EP lesson. Go ahead and click on that and get started. Thanks guys.